All right, so number one, write the name of each polygon. So just need to count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 sides, so that would be a decagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sides. Pentagon. Make sure you know your list of gons, because there will be different ones on the test. State if each polygon is concave or convex. Remember, if it's concave, if we extend the lines, they go inside the figure. If it's convex and we extend the lines, they don't go inside. But when we look at these, extend those two lines, they go inside. And on the other one, there are 3 lines, or 4 lines. If I extend them, they go inside. So both of these are going to be concave. One's like 5, which when you extend the lines and they don't go inside, that would be convex. All right. So number 5 and 6, state if each polygon is regular or not. And regular means that they are equilateral and equiangular. So all the angles are the same and all the sides are the same length, which we're just doing that by looking here, and it appears that all the sides are the same length, all the angles look the same. On the test, they would be drastically different if they won't look really close to the same and be not regular. So this one is regular. Number 6, all the sides on that one look the same length, and all the angles look to be about the same size, so regular on that one as well. All right, 7 and 8. Find the interior angle sum for each polygon. Round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. All right, so interior angle sum. The formula is n minus 2 times 180. So 17 minus 2 times 180, or 15 times 180. Be 2,700 degrees. And then a regular nonagon, which is 9 sides, right? So 9 minus 2 times 180, which would be 7 times 180, which would be 1260, I believe. Let me check that, make sure. Yep, 1260. All right, find the measure of one interior angle in each regular polygon. Round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. So, difference between these two questions: you got sum for 7 and 8, and 1 on 9 and 10. So we start off with the n minus 2 times 180, but then we divide it by n to get for 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 9. So 9 minus 2 times 180 divided by 9, which number 8 was 9 as well. So we already know that the 9 minus 2 times 180 part is 1260 divided by 9. And we're going to get 140 degrees for one angle. And number 10, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sides. It's going to be 11 minus 2 times 180, or 9 times 180. It's going to be 1620 over n, which is 11. get 147.3 degrees. All right, so then find the measure of one exterior angle in each regular polygon. Round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. So this is one exterior angle, and remember all the exterior angles of a polygon add up to 360 degrees always. So for one, it's 360 divided by the number of sides in. So a regular heptagon, which is 7 sides. So 360 divided by 7. .4 degrees. And 12, a regular 16gon. So it's got 16 sides. 360 divided by 16. Gonna be 22.5 degrees for one exterior angle. All right, 13 and 14, find the measurement indicated in each parallelogram. All right, so parallelograms, we know opposite sides are going to be the same, and the angles, two consecutive angles, are going to equal 180 degrees, and opposite angles will be the same on a parallelogram, which might be hard to tell, but this 130 degrees is going with angle V there. And so we're trying to figure out angle U. Those two would be consecutive angles, one coming right after the other going around the figure. So we know that those two have to be supplementary. So 130 plus that question mark angle has to equal 180. Subtract the 130. And the missing angle is going to be 50 degrees. 14 is a whole lot simpler because it's just looking at opposite sides, and opposite sides of parallelogram where they're straight across from each other are going to be the same. So question mark on this one is just 21. No math required. All right, solve for x. Each figure is a parallelogram. So once again, using those same rules, the two consecutive angles, C and D, coming one right after the other, have to be supplementary. So that's going to be 7x plus 7 plus 11x plus 11 has to equal 180. So 18x plus 18 equals 180. Subtract the 18. So 18x equals 162. Divide by 18. And 162 divided by 18. So 9. All right, 16. Same rule as before. You got a parallelogram. We're looking at opposite sides, so they have to be equal to each other. So 9x minus 1 has to equal 17. Add 1 to both sides. 9x equals 18, and divide by 9. Our x is going to be 2. All right, 17 and 18, state the most specific name for each figure. All right, so these are going to be parallelograms in this section, so you need to make sure you know your list of parallelograms and how they get more specific. All right, start with it being a quadrilateral, then it's a parallelogram, and then from parallelogram you can have a rectangle if all the angles are right angles. You can have a rhombus if all the sides are congruent, or you have a square if all the angles are right angles and all the sides are the same. And then trapezoid is not a parallelogram, but it's got two sides that are parallel. And a kite has two sets of congruent adjacent sides. So 17, we know it's got four sides, so it's quadrilateral. And the little arrows here are saying that the sides opposite each other are parallel. We have nothing that tells us any sides are congruent or that any angles are 90 degrees. So as far as we can go here, is simply say it's a parallelogram. And 18, it's got four sides, so it's quadrilateral. All the opposite sides are not parallel, so it's not a parallelogram. But we have one set of parallel sides, and one set of parallel sides means that it is a trapezoid. And for most specific name, if we had those two parallel sides and then they had those legs marked congruent, then we could go as far to say that it was an isosceles trapezoid. But and those aren't congruent, so just trapezoid is as far as that goes. Number 19, solving for x. So you got a quadrilateral. So all four angles of a quadrilateral always add up to 360. So all four of those angles need to add up to 360 degrees. So 80 plus 95 plus 70 plus 14x plus 3 has to equal 360. So then add those together. 80 plus 95, 175 plus 70, 245 plus 3 is 248 plus 14x equals 360. Subtract 248. 14x equals 112. And divide by 14. So x is going to equal 8. All right, so then 20 at 15x minus 1, a right angle, so we know that's 90, 92, and 89. Once again, it's quadrilateral. All four angles have to add up to 360. So 15x minus 1 plus 90 plus 92 plus 89 equals 360. So 15x, and combine all those values. So 15x plus 270 equals 360. Subtract 270. 15x equals 90. Divide by 15. And our x is going to equal 6. All right. All right, so 21, find the length of the mid-segment of each trapezoid, which there's just one trapezoid there. But remembering that the rule for mid-segments is that the mid-segment is equal to 1/2 of the sum of the two bases, or really it's just the average of the two bases. So that question mark mid-segment there, RS, is going to equal 5.6 plus 12.2 divided by 2, or 5.6 plus 2.2, 17.8 divided by 2. So 8.9 is going to be the length of that side. All right, 22, find the length of the base indicated for each trapezoid. So in this case, this 11.8 is actually going with the mid segment there. The question mark is the bottom base there. So we know that the two bases added together, 6.8 plus the question mark divided by 2 has to equal 11.8. So start off by multiplying by 2 on both sides. Get the 2 out of the denominator. So 6.8 plus whatever the question mark is has to equal 23.6 and subtract 6.8. So that base length is going to be 16.8. All right, and 23, find the measurement of the angle indicated for each trapezoid. All right, so 23 told us this is a trapezoid, and you can see that VU and WX are congruent sides, so that makes it an isosceles trapezoid. And since it's an isosceles trapezoid, the base angles are the same. So if V is a question mark, whatever V is, W is the same measure, and X is 85 degrees, so U would also be 85 degrees. And then these two, since they're on a trapezoid, the top or the bases are parallel. So these are parallel lines. WX is a transversal, which makes angle W and angle X consecutive interior angles or same side interior angles, and those are supplementary. So 85 plus whatever that question mark is has to equal 180. So subtract 85. And the missing angle is going to be 95 degrees. All right, so then 24, find the area of each. So this section could very possibly be different figures that we've covered area formulas for. So, make sure you have your toolkit filled out with all your formulas if you don't know them all by heart. So for a square, area equals the side squared. So area here is just going to be 7 kilometers squared. So 49 square kilometers will be the area for the square. 25, we have a trapezoid. Area of a trapezoid is equal to 1/2 the height times the sum of the bases. So area equals 1/2 of 3.8 times 9.6. So 8 times 18.24 square centimeters. All right, 26, 27, state if the polygons are similar. All right, so in order for them to be similar, we have to know that the corresponding angles are the same and that the sides are proportional. So when we look at 26, got 80 degrees up here, which since these two have to be supplementary, they have to add up to 180. So if this top angle is 80 degrees, then the one below it has to be 100, which on the bottom one, the bottom angle is marked at 100, so the top one would have to be 80, so the angles are matching up there. So that works. And then we have to check the proportionality of the sides. So we've got 18/5 would have to equal 36/6, and 18 divided by 5 is 3.6, I believe. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So 3.6 and 6 don't really match up. So since those ratios are not the same, they are not similar. So in 27, you got 125, and 180 minus 125 would be 55. So that leaves 55 for the bottom angle. Over on the other one, you got 55 for the bottom angle, which means it'd be 125 at the top. So the angles match up. And then check the proportionality of the sides. You got 7 to go over 28, which would need to be equal to 6/24. And 7 and 28 both divide by 7, which would give us 1/4. 6 and 24 both divide by 6, which would give us 1/4. So since those two are the same, sides are proportional, the angles are the same, so those would be similar polygons. All right. 28 and 29, the polygons in each pair are similar. Find the scale factor of the smaller figure to the larger figure. So we want to make sure it's smaller to larger. So in a fraction, the smaller one would have to go on top. If we do it as a ratio with the colon, then the smaller one comes first. So we're doing 3 goes with 6. And so those are the only ones that actually match up as far as corresponding sides. So 3/6 is 1/2, or 1:2 would be the smaller one to the larger one. And 29, smaller one is 12/30, which they both divide by 6. So that would be 2/5. Which if we picked 8 and 20, we don't have to do both of them because they already told us that they're similar, so we're not checking to see if they're similar. I'm just showing that it didn't matter which set of corresponding sides we picked. 8 and 20 both divide by 4, which would be 2/5. So scale factor is 2:5. All right, polygons in each pair are similar. Find the missing side length. All right, so since they're similar, we can use a proportion to solve for the missing side. So 35 matches up with 42, and those should be equal to whatever this question mark is over 36. So we can cross multiply. I'm going to change this question mark to an X just because it makes it easier to deal with. So 35 times 36 Is equal 1260. It's going to equal 42x divided by 42. And our x is going to equal 30, where that question mark is 30. All right, then 31, same principle. 6 and 18, so 6/18 is going to equal question mark or x over 12. So cross multiply. So 6 times 12 is 72. It's going to equal 18x divided by 18. Our x is going to be 4 there. 32, 33, solve for x. And the polygons in each pair are similar. So same basic idea of what we just did. It just got a little more complicated because we've got x's in there with other numbers on the sides. So still look for corresponding sides, 7 and 28. Make the first ratio, and then 8. Here we'll go with 4x minus 4. So we're going to cross multiply, which is going to give us 7 times 4x minus 4. So we got to multiply the 7 times both of those terms, and 8 times 28, 224. So distribute the 7, 28x minus 28 is going to equal 224. Add 28. 28x equals 252. And divide by 28. So our x value is going to be 9 there. And 33, same idea. All right. Corresponding sides, 9 over 15 is going to equal 15 over 5x minus 5. So cross multiply, and we're going to do 9 times 5x, which is 45x. 9 times negative 5 minus 45 is going to equal 15 times 15, or 15 squared, 225. Add the 45. So 45x equals 270. Divided by 45. And x is going to equal 6. All right, so 34 and 35 wants us to find the length indicated. All right, so in 34, we've got 3 parallel lines that are cutting or being intersected by 2 transversals. So when you have that set up, then those sections that are created by those 3 parallel lines are going to be proportional. So 9 over 15 is going to have to equal 21 over whatever the other section is, which they don't have it labeled as anything. I'm going to call it x. So if we cross multiply, we have 9x equals 21 times 15 is 315, and divide by 9. So our x value there is 35. The question mark here is for the full length between these two intersections. So the question mark is going to be 21 plus 35, or that would be 56. And then 35, we've got a triangle with a line going through the triangle that is parallel to one of the sides. So when that happens, the parts are proportional as well. So 1 compared to 5 should be equal to 2 compared to whatever this section is here, which we can call x. Cross multiply, and we get x equals 10. So that's 10. So the question mark is going to be 2 plus 10, or 12. So then from there on to the next section. 36, 37, state if the triangle in each pair are similar. If so, state how you know they are similar and complete the similarity statement. All right, so when we look at 36, we got angle J marked congruent to angle C. So we got one angle, and then we've got lengths for the two sides on each side of the angle. So we need to check to see if those are proportional. If those are proportional, then this would fit side angle side. Right? So 18 over 27 should equal 26 over 39. And you can either reduce the fractions or cross multiply, but in this case, reducing the fractions is probably easier. 18 over 27, they both divide by 9, which would be 2/3. 26 and 39 both divide by 13, which would be 2/3. So the fractions equal each other. 2/3 equals 2/3. So they are similar triangles. And by side angle side and completing the similarity statement, triangle JKL is going to be similar to triangle CBA. All right, and 37, triangle LMN, comparing it to triangle LGH. So when I look at them, the sides they gave us should be pretty easy to determine if they're proportional or not, because they're the same, right? 30 over 55 has to equal 30 over 55. So the sides are proportional, and now we have to have either the other side proportional with those, which they didn't give us numbers for HG and NM. But we know that at point L, we've got a set of vertical angles right there. And if we remember back to the first semester, vertical angles are always congruent. So angle HLG is going to be congruent to angle MLN. So we got two congruent angles, and the sides are proportional. So these are similar. And by SAS again. So triangle LMN is similar to triangle LGH. All right, and 38 and 39, find the missing length, knowing that the triangles in each pair are similar. So once again, this comes down to proportions, just like with quadrilaterals or any polygons. So the missing length, compare the corresponding sides. So look at those two triangles. You got to figure out whether 8 matches up with 21 or if 7 matches up with 21. Which is kind of hard to tell by the way these triangles are set up. So one easy way you can always do it is by the name, because the corresponding parts should match up in the naming. So UV goes with UK. So UV matches up with UK, right? Because they're both the first two letters of the two names. So UV and UK. So that means that our question mark is matching up with the 8, right? So 8 over the question mark would equal 7 over 21. So cross multiply. 7 times the question mark is going to equal 168 divided by 7. So our question mark there is 24. And then 39. Same idea. Make sure we're matching up things that go with each other, WV and KL. So WV goes with KL. So 9 over the question mark is going to equal 12 over 24. Cross multiply, 12 times the question mark is going to equal 24 times 9, which is 216, and divide by 12. It's going to equal 18. And lastly, number 40, solve for x. Triangles in each pair are similar. So KLM, so KL and KV, those go together, which means that 50 and 6 plus 3x go together. So 33 over 55 is going to equal 6 plus 3x over 50. Cross multiply, 33 times 50, going to be 1650. And 55 times 6 is 330, plus 3 times 55, 165, x. So subtract 330. So 1320 equals 165x. Divide 165. So x equals 8. So that completes the review.